Morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How we doing there, bud?
My phone holder just fell, so I'm back to hand holding right now, but we're doing okay. How are you?
No worries. I'm good. I was trying to set one more thing up, but I saw you come on, so I didn't want to keep you waiting. We're here.
So good to see you. I can only stay on for until like 8:40 this morning because I have to go teach. It's my last day to teach this class, so I'm pretty happy. But happy to be here and good to see you. How's your weekend?
It was all good, man. Let's definitely. Why don't we jump in? I'm trying to do some notes and kind of keep us on a really good path to success here. But overall, I think just kind of giving some structure there, which I definitely want, which I think is going to be good. I think it's going to really give a lot of value too. So before we jump into gratitude, definitely wanted to just give a little bit of a quick focus, just right to everything that we know is the Daily Dad book. And today it was what's the title for today again? This is the highest praise. And the reason why I want to jump into that really quick and go there first is because I think that our gratitude can definitely end up touching on that. I definitely want that from you. So I think it would be good. And I always appreciate your mindset around that. But I think what I really wanted to do was just kind of paint that picture, and I'll be aware it's I'm here for you, Mr. Blaze. But if no one read for today and you don't know, what we're looking at is basically how we can talk all about, parenting from our point of view, kind of get it from our kids. But one thing in particular today in This is the Highest Praise, it was really talking about how a father might end up feeling or understanding how their son or daughter or kids just kind of feel about them. And so I think what I wanted to make sure I'm doing, I'm just checking out my notes as I kind of go through this. I wanted you guys to quickly, and Blaze, tell me if this definitely resonates with you, but just kind of imagine you feeling as if you are hearing your grown child, daughter, son, whatever's going on. Imagine them standing in front of you, or you hearing them from a distance, whatever they're actually saying, and they're sharing all of their favorite memories about you, spending time with you, and they're even changing plans, or they're doing some things that are going to be more focused on you than even their friends, right? Making sure that it's definitely an experience that they definitely are reflecting on. You're thinking, I put so much time and effort and love into that, and I can't believe my kid really felt that. I think that when we paint that picture really quickly and you apply it to you, and Blaze, this is where I want to just really think if you definitely have this. I think about this like my oldest daughter right now is just so involved with her friend. She's so friend focused, but when she wants to come up to me and say, well, I definitely would rather hang out with you or watch a movie with you, or Dad, can you lay with me right now? Like, those are the kind of moments that I'm thinking, okay, she really appreciates my energy. She appreciates me being there. I think it's really special. Blaze, are there any kind of like moments, any kind of like rituals, any things that you kind of do with your kids that you're hoping that they remember?
Yeah. And I think we can tie it, like you said, tying it into gratitude too. The thing that's jumping into mind right now is I've been really big on really trying to make it a point to take them to YMCA on Saturday mornings, get them out of the house, move their bodies, see friends, especially the two boys, because they're kind of mad at me because I leave them and dump them for 2 hours, but they're also running around and I think having a good time and building connections and being around people. But one of the really cool things is at the YMCA by our house, when you're walking out, they have an art room, and they have like a college kid I think she's a college kid, like posted up in this art room until 2:00 on Saturdays. And they have usually 3 art projects for kids to work on, and then a free draw station. And we really are starting to build a ritual of when they get out of the childcare place that we go to the art room and they free draw or make a picture. And my middle son, Bryson, just loves being creative. He loves this art. All the different projects, he's usually always making it, and just like seeing how proud he is. And usually he wants to gift whatever he made to mom when he gets home. So I think it's becoming imprinted that, like, hey, when we go to the YMCA, we're always looking to go to the art room to see how can we be creative, what can we create, can we gift something to mom, and it's just something fun to do together. So I'm hoping right now that that's like the ritual that they're really enjoying and they look forward to.
That's awesome. Is that, and that's definitely something that you hope, at least right now, there's so many more things you're going to bring in that you hope that they're going to look back on and like really think that there's some joy and happiness with that?
Oh yeah, like emotional islands, like getting up, getting out of the house in the morning, moving our bodies, and then capping it off with a trip to the art room and seeing what they're really turkey focused right now because Thanksgiving's coming up, very tenacious, and it's a blast.
That's so cool. Yeah, I think that's definitely, I definitely love that one. I'm hoping that I can get there too. You can head out whenever you definitely need to. But I love that you just kind of tied that back into the gratitude for sure. But I think if there's anything that I can be grateful for right now, I kind of mentioned it with my girls. I was trying to get to the gym this morning and I was leaving a bit late, and then my 3-year-old got up and she's like, "Dad, will you do a puzzle with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I definitely want to." And I knew that it meant in my heart and mind, I said, I'm going to take 3 minutes and I'm going to make sure that I can pour that into my daughter because I have 3 minutes and she's more important than anything else. But I'm hoping that those kind of moments, or that my daughter is definitely remembering, all right, if I ask Dad for something, he will give me that time, whether it's all that I needed or even a little bit. And so that's definitely where I hope that they can definitely remember those kind of things right there. I know you're going to go soon, Blaze, but any thoughts, final thoughts, big thoughts, small thoughts on the overall meditation today? Tom Brady focused.
Yeah. Man, I need to work so hard on stop saying but building off of your gratitude, that's something actually that I've been thinking a lot about this weekend, because how many times in our day, and this is what I thought about this weekend, a child comes up to myself and says, "Can you get me a squeezy? Can you play cards with me? Can you find my truck? Can we build Legos? I'm bored. Can we do this?" And it's very often I find myself, "Hey, just a second. Hey, I'll get back to you. Hey, let's finish this." But I'm really trying to live in the moment with them and not be so tied to whatever it is that I'm doing that I can quickly unlock that time. I know that you're always talking about 3 minutes, but I can give them that 3 minutes. So I'm trying really, really hard when they ask for those things to be able to drop what I'm doing and do that. Now, can that happen every time? No. But I hope that as my kids get older and think about coming to Dad, and it's not even asking for something physically, like a toy or a present or something like that, but just they want my time to help them with whatever they have. And I hope that they think back, like, more often than not, Dad was able to step in and do this thing with me.
That's great, man. I think that is it's exactly, I think, what we want to feel. We want them to have that feeling. So I love that you're there with that.
Awesome. Have a good day. I gotta go, but love you guys so much, and I won't end the stream.
Take care, guys. Take care, please. Yeah, so I would definitely say that, I think looking back and not letting this time go, hoping that it is definitely something that our kids can look back on and be really happy. It's this importance that I check back to my notes over here as I'm trying to work through this. Good morning, Dom.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Blaze just took off for teaching, but we were jumping into a few things here with a little bit of structure, with remembering, thinking about how we're kind of building these relationships with our kids and how they're looking back and remembering things. And today the meditation, the reading was really focusing on Tom Brady. It was actually from the book. I went to school with his daughter, Gary Myers. He wrote a book basically about Tom Brady. I think chronicling the things that the relationship he had with his dad and all of that. And then it really talks about, Tom Brady's father. What's his name? I think it's Tom, right? I think Tom Brady's dad.
Yeah.
His name is Tom. But Tom Brady talked very highly of his father and the things like golfing on a Saturday. And Tom Brady said something along the lines of like, "I appreciated being with my dad so much." He was like, "I would not go out with friends on a Friday night because I wanted to wake up early and go golfing with my dad." And, Tom Brady's dad was basically asked like, "Hey, how do you feel about that?" And I think he was like, I think as a father, if I can kind of try and paraphrase this, he was saying that as a father, of course, I'm going to feel proud about my son, but you don't know if my son is ever going to be proud of me unless they say something. And so he was like, what a great honor to actually like hear that and have him say that and know that he loves spending time with me. I don't think a lot of parents are going to get that on that type of level. My goodness, you know? So that's really what we were reflecting on. We kind of tied some gratitude back to it a little bit. What do you think about gratitude right now? Kind of tied to the meditation this morning, Tom.
Gratitude to the meditation? No.
Well, can I prompt you with a question?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's one moment or activity you've shared with your kids that you think they'll look back on with a smile, with joy, with happiness?
I don't know. I mean, I've been focusing, like we've talked about previously, on the little moments. So just like, you know, getting to come home last night after a good 24 hours away from the kids, and just seeing like that they had a good time with their grandparents, or, you know, that they went out to a breakfast place, and, you know, one of them, Bailey was like, yeah, breakfast was amazing. And then the other two kids were like, breakfast was all right, but the cool part, they went to Cracker Barrel.
I know I lost audio. Is that me?
No, it's me. My freaking car just took over.
It's good.
1 second.
It's good.
Um,
That's stress.
So you got me back. He goes, Dad, the breakfast place we went to, it had a Target inside of it, like, meaning like at Cracker Barrel has a store. So they like went through and picked out some stuff. So they were all excited to have some new stuffed animals and toys to show us. And then we got to play with some of the toys, because Bentley got like one of those like jugs full of like, not army men, they were actually knights and dragons. So we played with that all night last night.
You know what? If I had to choose a bucket of army men or knights and dragons, I think I would choose the knights and dragons.
I don't know that both were side by side, but it was just a big jug of knights and dragons. So I thought it was really cool because it looked like army men at first.
Yeah, that's cool. It's again, I'm trying to take a little bit of time and kind of create again some kind of structure around kind of what we're talking about, which I think is definitely helpful. It helps me, at least, kind of grounds me in this, and I think it feels a little more fulfilling to not just kind of think of like the random gratitude, which is great, but I like kind of being forced to think about the gratitude in some of these moments. And really what this is, it's all about that relationship building. And this whole month is about gratitude, right? Having our kids understand, learn what gratitude is. But I think we have to be grateful as well. And it just, I like that it pulls me back a little bit. And me thinking about like one thing at least that I'm consciously doing to build the bond with my kids. And you know, this story today about Tom Brady golfing with his dad and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff sounds so great. But it gets me away from where I really feel like I'm trying to build the bonds with my girls, which is, you know, making sure that that emotional bond is there. And I was mentioning with Blaze before that I'm trying to get that. I'm definitely trying to build the bond with my girls about like, Dad will always be available, because I know that I'm trying to live up to those first 3 minutes of, you know, whether it's the day, you know, once they get home or right before bed. But I've kind of taken that into any time they ask me for my attention. I'm like, I definitely have 3 minutes. There's 3 minutes that you can have right now. That is definitely, you know, nothing is more important than those 3 minutes. It's definitely hard sometimes, but like, you know, compared to Tom Brady's dad and them golfing and I don't know what else they were doing, but that is where I'm so consciously trying to build that bond with my girls. So that's that. That's part of it. Can I ask one thing about your family? I'm really curious if this is something that resonates with you, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask about like traditions, right? Because I think a lot of bonds can kind of start within that tradition, whether it's around Christmas or, you know, other holidays or whatever else is going on. You know, again, part of this reading, I think the golf outing sounded almost like it was a tradition for Tom Brady and his dad. Do you see, have you felt any like really like deep value in like creating any traditions? Like what traditions are you kind of creating with your family? What do you have now? And what do you think that's helping instill in your kids?
Shoot, I'm probably the worst person to ask that question about. I don't know. I don't think we have a lot of them. I mean, we have just normal stuff that we do for the holidays. I don't feel like it's a tradition, but I guess it kind of is. But it's more of just, to me, it just seems normal. We just get together with our family and eat tons of food, and then at Christmas, open gifts. I mean, the my wife's family does a pretty elaborate advent calendar for the kids every year, so they have that going for them starting December 1st. So it's like a morning. Every morning they go down, pull a stocking off the calendar, and find their gifts for day one, and sit, take a quick picture, and then open it up, and then that they have that gift to enjoy for the day. Thank grandma and grandpa, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as far as other traditions, I don't, like I said, I don't know. I don't know of any that we do. We just celebrate all the normal holidays. Easter, go on a yearly trip to the lake, but this will just be the third year doing it.
Wait, but I feel like you're not taking as much. You're not putting as much stock in that, because I feel like the advent calendar thing is so cool. Number one, right? It's making them feel special.
I have mixed feelings about that. So it's cool, but I have mixed feelings about it. It's also a lot. It's also a lot. Like, I feel like it spoils them a little bit. Like, to get like 24 days of gifts and then have like a pretty sizable Christmas. It's just a lot.
I see what you're
saying. A lot
saying.
for 1 month. Like, they're not like when you think about like the advent calendar that Blaze made, or the normal ones that you see where it was like, I think back in my day it was like a piece of chocolate or like a little thing. Like, these are gifts. These are gifts. They range from like a dollar store item to like maybe $10. So they, and sometimes more. So it's quite a bit of stuff that comes to them for the month of December. So I have mixed emotions about that.
It sounds like Super Hanukkah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
but it is a tradition, because it's been going on since my wife was a kid. Like, she had this her whole life.
Oh my gosh. I find that that's really special. I think the fact that your wife was doing it, now your kids are doing it. I mean, if anything, it does sound like there is a lot of, again, planning, there's tradition, there's all this kind of stuff really going on. There's no way. I mean, even your wife, has she mentioned anything about how, like, what that felt like as a kid?
Oh, she loves it. Like, I've told her a couple of times that I want to stop it because it's getting out of control, and it's just for me, it's a little too much, like, for my kids. And she's like, no, don't you dare. Like, because she's like, it's been a tradition in my family since I was a kid, and she's like, it might even go back before me. She's like, I don't know if it was her grandmother or one of her aunts that like knitted like the calendar. I'll send you a picture of the calendar and the stockings.
Yeah, do it.
That we still, break out of the garage and hang up. It's just like, when my wife was a kid and when we had only one child, like, the gifts fit in the stockings. But nowadays the gifts are so big that they don't even, like, you can't even put them in the stocking. So our dining room table, and I'll send you a picture of this as well, just becomes like, what is 24 times 3, like 60, 72 gifts just stacked up on the table. So
it definitely is a lot.
And that's pre-Christmas, mind you.
I hear you.
Santa hasn't came yet.
Yeah.
So it's just, for me, when I see that, when the bags come into the house and we're organizing them, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, every year.
That I mean that feels overwhelming to me because I'm like I'm very tough on like the space. I'm like we don't need more of these things. Even Lauren mentioned recently about a gift, and I already pushed back on a little bit, right or wrong. But I'm like that sounds like something if we get the girls that it's just going to be forgotten about, and it could be wrong too. But that tradition that sounds really cool. I like that.
Yeah, the tradition behind it and all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah, I think yeah, we can get off in a little bit. We will try to keep it 30 minutes. But no, I think that that's definitely a really cool thing that the kids can definitely look back on. I'm sure there's some sort of like compromise around maybe the gifts or the size of them or whatever's really going to be going on. Can I ask one more thing?
Yes.
And again, this is just, I'm trying to kind of guide through all these things with traditions and then kind of getting feedback from your kids now. I asked about, what your wife had said about certain things, but is there ever something that your kids had said that surprised you? Like something that your kids said that they loved about your time together at all? And as I ask that right now, I'm going to say, just kind of thinking about it right now, there's something I think my daughter holds very close to her is it's like the walk that we take, these like walks that we take up to a coffee house that's like about a mile away, and we get a croissant, and like it's something she always attaches to, and she really likes it. And so it's something that I'll always kind of be like, okay, I got it. That if that's in her head, I will always remember to make sure that that's what I'm definitely doing. So that's what I'll do. Yeah. Is there anything that surprised like the push-up thing recently?
Yeah, that was a funny thing for sure. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know or wasn't in the group chat, like it was when I got home on Friday, it was raining and it had been raining all day, and so that usually triggers people to stay inside and not want to get wet and not want to do all that stuff. But over the last, I don't know, like year or two, like I've been focusing more myself on a fitness regime and also like a stronger appreciation for nature and outdoors time. Like even though I don't like starting my morning staring at Josh Courage's feet, I still like heavily like vibe with like his whole thing of like going outside barefoot grounding. And so every time we've had previous rainstorms, I'm the first to kind of like go out there and just stand in the rain and just let it, let myself get wet, because it is very like grounding, and I don't know what it is. It just feels good. And at the end of the day, like you walk back inside and your shirt will dry within, 10-20 minutes. So I have on several occasions gone out, done a full set of push-ups, gone on a run, like done whatever in the rain. Like it's not comfortable, so I don't like, do it for a long amount of times. It's just a quick thing. So yeah, when I came home yesterday and it was raining, my son, he wanted to open the door. We opened the door to let the dog out. The dog scurries like as fast as it can because it doesn't like the rain. And then he went out. The picture's kind of like a little, like he didn't actually like go all the way out. So like he was still under the roof overhang. Like he was getting wet, but like he wasn't like out. Like I'll be out there getting soaking wet. So he was still under the roof overhang, which cracked me up. But yeah, he definitely went out there for a while. It looked more like he was doing yoga because I still haven't gotten down and developed good push-up skill with him, but we'll get there. It did crack me up because he did remember that. Like I did prompt him. He's like, Dad, look, I'm going to do push-ups in the rain like you did that one time. So yes, you're right. That was a good one.
That's so cool that it's like we just like I don't know if he would have thought he would have like attached to that so quickly. So
No, it definitely surprised me. It definitely throws me off guard sometimes, the things that they say or remember, and like you're saying, like that they attach to. It happens a lot, but I like to answer your question, like short of like you reminding me of that instance, like I don't know that I remember it. Like, and especially like not on the spot. I would have to think about all that stuff a lot more to like recall stuff like that. My
Yeah,
memory recall is trash.
but I think
That's why
I think it's just the purpose, though. I want to be a little bit more a little bit more dynamic in terms of how we're looking at each one of these, meditations, and really kind of lean into it and kind of help us out a little bit. I think with the 2 minutes left that we have right now, just, what we are talking about right now is just that what you could think of like if you think of it like as the ultimate test or not. I think that we want to make sure that we're not just spending time with our kids, that it really is like, what are we doing with that time when we're actually with them? Because I think that's going to make us feel even that much more attached and, build those bonds, I think, just a little bit more. And whether you do it the way that Tom Brady did, him and his dad, or if it was going to be something that we're doing on an emotional level, just kind of in our minutes in garbage time that was shared by Ron recently. Jerry Seinfeld mentioned that garbage time with your kids, and making sure you're leaving space for that, right? I think even leaving space for you to have those conversations with your kids is definitely good. But a call to action, I would love to kind of make sure that we are hitting on some of those things, which I think is important. And I think makes all this more salient as we kind of put it into practice. But I would love if we can kind of take what we're kind of hearing now, about that intentionality with our kids. And Dom, I want to challenge you with this a little bit, and anybody else too. But if you're thinking about a new tradition, because it's this time of year where you can set some of those things up, or just spending that time together, spend an hour, a quality hour together, whatever's going on. Is there definitely something that you can do to create that bond, make it a little bit more special, whether it's the 3 minutes, whether it's learning push-ups, whether it's playing golf with your kids, or, as we kind of get closer to the holidays, like eating a bunch of food with family. How do you approach that time with family, Dom? Like, I think that's really important. I think that is a tradition in itself, which is definitely good. So, is there another way that anyone listening could make sure that you're attaching to all that? So I hope that's definitely something you're doing.
All right. Yep. I'll take that under consideration.
Yeah.
It's hard to, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's hard to remember like this higher level stuff, like when I'm in the moment, like with a person or with kids, like, or with my wife or something like that. So, that I feel like I'm getting a little better at it, but, yeah, I'll definitely have to think more on it. It's hard to keep it, like I was saying, it's hard to keep it top of mind and just kind of like go into like autopilot mode with whatever I need to do and whatever they want to do and stuff like that. And sort of like, think about this moment or that moment.
Yeah.
Or this lesson or that lesson, like how to add value.
But at the same time, as we kind of come to the top of the hour now, I would hope that it's something. It's kind of like therapy. If you've gone through therapy, you know that therapy isn't linear. You know that there are things that you talk about that you don't implement right away. And the more you force it, the less you might actually be implementing it. And so it's like some of these small things that just really bubble up, I think, more subconsciously. I will say, the more that I hop on here and we talk about these and we think about them, I do feel as if they pop up in moments and I might not even realize it until weeks. I'm like, oh, wait a second, this is what I'm doing. I mean, we do need to be intentional, but I would hope that even listening and talking about these things is good. Recently, I was talking with one of my clients. What did she say? She said, she has a new job with one of these like billionaires. Like she's helping them. That's like her job. She's like an executive assistant, but she's working with this family and they're billionaires. And I was like, I'm so curious, right? We're working on nutrition, me and her. And I was like, you're working for a billionaire right now. Like, what does it like? Does watching their lifestyle change you or make you think of things differently in life that you didn't think about before? And, to keep this shorter is what she said. She was like, you know what? It's just the fact of me seeing human potential that is changing the way that I'm approaching certain things. And so seeing the potential of one dad making one small change is a huge thing. So hearing you, Dom, and your son doing push-ups in the rain, like that is potential. That is the potential to change one kid's life. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I definitely have to be a little more open about maybe what I'm doing with my workouts, or like not being afraid to do it around them, or that kind of stuff. So seeing that potential and watching Dom change the way he is definitely it can influence us, more than we actually think at some point. Dom, final thoughts though?
I gotta start doing push-ups in front of my kids again. It's been a while.
Traditions, connection, quality time versus quantity, right? All those things there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Dom, it was good seeing you, bud.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for holding it down.
Yeah,
I miss Blaze. I'm sad.
Blaze, yeah, he was. I think it's the last of his teaching. I don't really understand his schedule sometimes, but I don't need to. It's okay. Anyway, guys, hop over to. I know Gary just went live. Let's go check him out. But have a great rest of your day, and hope your mugs stay full of coffee and your hearts full of gratitude, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
See you.